In this video, I am going to demonstrate Postgres SQL MCQ server. So using this, we can give any prompt, connect to the database, and then get the responses. The prompt can be as simple as give me the details from so and so table, or it can be little complicated as like joining two tables, or it can be very complex, which requires running multiple queries and collating the information and giving the final response. So MCP server will work for all types of prompts from simple to advanced. So that is what I'm going to demonstrate. So before demonstrating this, I would like to cover few some information about how this is built. So this is the sequence diagram. Here we have a user. The user will give input to the Flask web that you see in the background, and this will interact with the MCP client, and MCP client will in turn interact with the MCP server. Now this MCP server will do the all the heavy lifting, and in between there is an LLM. The LLM will facilitate the conversation, select which function to call, and so on. And this MCP server will in turn coordinate with the Postgres. So the flow of information will be from user to PostgreSQL, and in between it will be interacting with the LLM, and there will be a lot of back and forth. So we can give a response, we can give some information in between before it arrives at the final answer. The top one is related to the UI, the bottom one is related to the command line interface. So command line interface is also available, wherein in the command line we can ask something, give a prompt, and get the required results. So now let me show you the block diagram that I've just mentioned. The PostgreSDB is here. We have a MCP server, which is built on Node.js, then MCP client, which is built on Python, and there is an OpenAI LLM that is being used. Now, to install the PostgreSQL server, these are the three steps that you need to follow. So you just need to clone the repo from GitHub, just do npm install and npm run build. Now this is an alternative option. The second is install Python SDK. So this is required. So again, you can use git clone and install the Python SDK, and then, or you can install the pip, like pip install MCP. Now, whatever dependencies are required, you can install them. You can give the OpenAI key. You can use other generative AI also. Now, this configuration is important. This configuration tells the application where is the MCP server located and how it will connect to the database. So here, this is the path where the MCP server is installed in the previous step here. Uh, this is the one. And we are also giving the credentials to the database. You have to give the host name, port number, then database name, username, password. All this information you can provide. Now, the sensitive information like password can be stored in some environment file or some other place, which can be called here. So that can be done. Now, this is the flow. So here, this is about like the code. Now, what all code blocks are there? Now, these are the functions which are available. So whenever you give a prompt, these functions will be converted to the respective um, tools or functions, and they will be interacting with the database. Now you can ask any type of question. It can be simple, intermediate, advanced, complex, anything will work. I'm going to demonstrate the same. So you can give a simple query like show me all the products with their category names, show me the customers for each city with their order information, etc. These are the simple queries. Now I will show you the test that we are going to perform. So I've created the database. Now the database consists of 16 tables, and this database has some sample data inserted. So we want to demonstrate like how it can do the complex joins also, and give you the response that you require. So this is one table related to brand, then another table related to categories. You can see the sample data and products, order items, suppliers, inventory, region, promotions, customer segment, employees, and so on. So there are around 17 to 18 tables. Now, what we can do is we can ask questions, basically prompts. So here I've given the list of prompts. So we can ask the basic prompts, then intermediary, and so on. And let's see how it works. So what actually it does is it will, whenever you give a prompt, if it is simple, it will go ahead and execute. If you give a complex prompt, it will break down it into pieces and then it will execute one at a time. In between, it will ask you for some information. In case we are okay, we can say go ahead, okay, or proceed, or something like that. Now let's try this. Retrieve all customers from United States. So now this, whatever prompt we are using, this is based on the tables that we have. Okay, so I'll just copy this. So we are asking retrieve the customers from United States and sort them by registration date, show their full name and email address. Okay, even though it looks simple, it is categorized simple, but still there is a bit of complexity in it. Now here you can see nowhere we are mentioning the table name, etc. It should figure out by itself. So let's see. So I will just open this one. This is the application. Now this can also run in the command line mode also, that I'll show you. So here I have provided the option of autonomous mode. So here when you switch to the autonomous mode, the expectation is that it will not wait for user input. It will keep on going till it has finished its job. So by default, it will prompt in between sometimes in case we want to proceed or we want to give some other prompt. So let's try. So I'll just paste the prompt. It should retrieve the customers from United States and sort them by registration date. Let's see. So here you see the assistant. Okay, so now it is creating some plan. I plan to execute a query to retrieve all customers. Okay, could you please provide that information and confirm if the table is named something like customer? So here I don't want to help this one. So it is asking customers. So I will just mention you figure out. So I want to see if it is able to do that. So it says I found a customer table, which is likely the customer data is stored. Now I will check the structure of the customer table to identify relevant columns. I'll proceed to describe. So here it is telling whether it should, what it is trying to do and so on. I will simply say, go ahead. I will not stop it. So let it do what it feels right. I will see whatever I get at the end of this conversation is what I had prompted for. Okay, now it is saying the customer table has relevant column so and so. It has created some query. Would you like to me execute this query? So I will say yes. Let's see what I will get. I retrieve the information from United States sorted by registration date. The full name is John. Email is this. If you need any further. So I think it has nailed it. Now here it looks like there is only one name. That's why you got one name. If there are more, it would have sorted by the date. Okay, so here we ask for a customer information from United States and it has provided. So let's try this. We have so many prompts. So let's see a little bit complicated one. Create a report showing the customer's name, total number of orders, total spending. Include customers who haven't placed any orders yet. Show zero for their metrics. Okay, so let me give this complex one. Let's see how it handles it. So I will just paste it here. So I've asked for this information. Okay. To create the name so and so, including those who haven't placed the orders. So it has created a strategy and then it is also created the prompt and then, sorry, it created the query and it says, should I proceed? I would say yes. Okay. Let's see. Order table contains following relevant columns and so on. would you like to proceed execute? I'll say yes. Okay, it appears at the place order. Okay. Now here, this is the output that I got. Please let me know. Okay. So then let's see what the prompt that we have given and what it has given. The prompt was create a report showing customer name and total number of orders. So we want customer name as a column and total number of orders and total spending. And then the second part is include customers who haven't placed. So that will come to it later. Let's see customer name, total orders, and total spending, whether that is there. See, here customer name is the full name, total orders, and total spending. So it looks like there is only one order. So I placed at least one order. If you include the customer who haven't placed any orders to the report, please let me know. If you need to include, I would respond, I would say include. So what I am expecting is it should include those people who have not placed the order also. And it should be showing zero. Let's see what it does. Okay. Shall I go ahead? I'll say yes. See here, it is doing all the thinking process and then it is giving the expected response. So basically, it is using a step-by-step approach. Okay. It seems that reports still only include customer who have placed order. None of them have record of zero orders. So here, that data doesn't exist. Okay. Would you like me to execute a query to find a customer with zero orders, or should I try modifying the report query again? So I will say go ahead for now. Let's see what it does. If there is no data, it will not show. Okay, so it is giving the same response that there is no customer who have not placed any order. So that is fine. So now let me check some other prompt. Okay, show each supplier's product portfolio with supplier name, number of products supplied, average product price, and total inventory value of the products. So here so many things we are asking related to the supplier and the products. So let's see. So we are asking supplier product portfolio with name, number of products. Okay, it is just querying supplier and products. So shall I proceed? I'll say yes. Okay. So it seems that the product table does not have a column named inventory quantity. To proceed, I'll check the structure of products to identify. Okay, so it says it is just trying to find out, but it could not find. So it says it will just check this table. Okay, shall I go ahead? I'll say yes. So here it is also asking for the user inputs. So we can automate it by choosing the autonomous mode. Okay. Proceed the table with relevant. Should I execute the query? I'll say yes. Okay. So what we ask supplier name, products, average product price, total inventory value. Let's see this is this what we have asked? We have asked supplier name, different products, average product price, and total inventory value of that products. See, total inventory value, average product value. Okay. Include supplier with no products, showing zero for average. So even if they have not have any products, even those are displayed here with zero value. So it shows that it is working well and it is doing its job very well. So let's take something else. Okay, now let's go to the advanced. Now here we are writing the entire story of what we want. Now this is something it requires careful thought, breaking down into steps, and then coming out with the response. So let's take this one, generate a comprehensive sales performance report that shows total top five products by revenue with their brand information, average order value by customer country, inventory turnover rate, and so on. Let's see. So now what it is going to do is it will break down it into smaller parts and then strategically plan what is that it needs to do to get the answer to this question or this prompt. Okay. So see, it has created a plan. See what we said, get top five products, average order value, inventory turnover. See, top five products. So then it has also figured out which are the tables that it is going to join. Average, these are the table it is going to join. For this, it is going to join these, and so on. And then it has created the query that it is going to run for each of them. Shall I proceed? I'll say yes. So now what it will do is it will execute those queries, get the output, and from that output again it will figure out whether it got the required information or then yeah it has to proceed further. Let's see. Okay. Now it is going to execute these tools, read query multiple times, and the query that is mentioned here will be executed. Shall I proceed? I'll say yes. So here this is like information gathering, but we can also execute the query which can insert something, delete something, or modify something. Okay, what is it is saying? Here are the structures for the relevant tables. So these are the table like the products table, order table. Okay, now these are it wants to know more information to investigate how it relates to the brand and product. So whenever it generates a query, it should first understand the table structure, etc. So now it is going into that investigative mode. It is calling this describe table. So I'll say go ahead, yes. Okay. Now the categories table is following the structure and so on. Now it still wants to further investigate. So that's why it is called describe table. So let's verify if there is a brands table to establish relationship between products and brands. So it's want to understand if there is any relationship. So, but for that, it wants to understand that. I'll say yes. Okay, the brands table does not exist in the database. Now I will describe the structure of brands table to understand its column, how it relates to the products. Shall I go ahead? So it is not leaving. So whatever it is, the goal it is giving, it is just trying to figure out a way. If something doesn't work, it is trying to find an alternative way also. Okay, now it has found something. Okay, brands table, summary of the relationship, everything, next steps. It has created a query. Shall I proceed to execute this query? I will say yes. So you can see now for like accomplishing a complex objective, how many times it is going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth to get the results that we need. And here one important thing is it is maintaining the context, it understand the history. So it is going like a chain. Okay. So again, still it wants to investigate. Let it investigate. So this is a very complex query. So I've also given some examples of a complex query, like related to different like situations. Okay. Now what it says, structures, warehouse, order item, shall I attempt to queries? Still it is describing. So it means that this is really complex prompt or complex requirement. Okay, what it is doing, would you like to me to correct the queries? Okay, so I don't want to correct it. Let it do what it feels better. It encountered some errors. No results returned, missing, and so on. I'll simply say go ahead. Let it figure out. See, it will learn from its mistake, correct it till it achieves the goal. Okay, would like me to proceed describing the table to further investigation? I will simply say okay, I will not say anything. Let's see if it reaches its goal. Okay. The product has a structure, observation. Would you like to explore relationship? It is understanding the relationship only. Yes. Okay, where it is, the categories table has a following structure, revisit, next steps. Would you like me to run? Okay, I'll say yes. So see, revisit relationship. So sometimes if things doesn't work, it is just trying to find out. Now here one thing is it started with 5 steps. Now you can see it, or it reduced to 2 steps. It means that it made some progress. So it is able to give this information. Would you like to proceed? I'll say yes. So it is coming near towards the goal. Okay, okay. Here are the top 5 products by revenue with category information. These are the top 5 products. Category is there and total revenue is there. Retrieved, average order value successfully retrieved. This is successfully retrieved. This is successfully. Next step, if you need further analysis, additional reports, or if you'd like to explore specific detail, please let us know. Okay. So here it has accomplished its goal, but still, if you see that feel that something more needs to be needs to be done, you can give continue to give prompting. So you can see even without providing any information about the database, any information about the table, it is able to connect. It is able to retrieve the data on the fly, understand them, break down the complex problem into steps, execute it. In case if it makes an mistake error, it will create a new strategy, find an alternative strategy, execute it till it reaches the goal. And still we also have a control because everywhere we are guiding, we are supervising. Sometimes we can let it to be on its own, or sometimes we may want to intervene. So this autonomous mode is under development. Once it is developed, it will be on its own. It will do what it thinks best and finally get to the result. So both things are possible. So this is a very good use case wherein it demonstrates the power of MCP servers to query the database using plain English text, no matter how much complex the given query is. Thank you.